played out. To all my hustlers, the reason I got on this shirt, man, you know, I'm a hustler too. The reason I got on this shirt, I am a hustler too. But my message to you is that there's so many opportunities to hustle nowadays in a legal way. Business owners, entrepreneurs, salesmen, a lot of people always been hustlers. You know, it just was things on the right side of the law. But again, my message to you is that now there's so many opportunities for any person, and especially somebody who, you know, may have applied themselves to hustling in an illegal way. So many opportunities to flip that around and use all the street knowledge, even some of the resources, you know, use the street, the mentality, the whole way of thinking, and hustle in a different way. You know, hustle smart. A lot of the network marketing, even if you want to apply it to sales, man, the whole mentality, that go-getter mentality, that persistence, you know, that drive, that ambition, the desire to accomplish, to succeed, you know, to win, all that is useful. And you might have to do some changes depending on what route you go to apply that in a legitimate way. You might have to make some changes in appearance or the attitude, you know, all of that is going to play into how you're able to parlay the whole hustler mentality. But the reality is that you can be very successful using that hustle mentality in a legitimate way. So I wanted you to think about that, because I mean the reality is that the life of a hustler on the wrong side of the tracks is very limited. You know, the time has come where you can seriously expect to find yourself dead or behind bars or in the hospital sooner rather than later. Look at how many different programs there are for people to become informants, or your haters to snitch. Look at how many haters there are nowadays. Look at how many people are motivated. Listen, look around. Look at a lot of your peers. How many of them are motivated by greed, material possession? How many of them are self-centered? You know, how many of them will repeat the mantra over and over until it's ingrained in their minds, money over everything? A lot of people only care about you as long as you are not in the way of them getting theirs, or until you have not reached a significant level that they aspire to reach themselves, or until it is not a situation where telling on you would benefit them. So remember, the more greedy a person is, the more blinded they are, and the more risks they take and stuff like that. So of course, if the more risk lower level people take, then the more likely it is that they'll get busted. Given the fact that the mentality nowadays is about me, when they get busted, how much loyalty are they going to have to you? And especially if they see you stepping all over other people, they feel like you would do the same thing in their shoes. Yes. So again, it's a matter of time. So what I really want to try to encourage you to do is, you know, get out of all of that and try to find a path to go down where you can use all of the street knowledge and the hustle mentality, your ambition, that whole spirit, how you can use that hopefully in a positive way. Well, anything if it's legitimate as opposed to that is going to be in a positive way. But I mean, you can even do things in a proactive manner. You can align yourself with non-profits and organizations and the juvenile system, and talk about the things that you've learned from the street, and better choices that a person can make, especially if you have already recognized some of the opportunities that I'm talking about. See, some of y'all have already seen these things and allowed yourself to be exposed to these opportunities. You may not have acted on them yet, but you know they're there. Others, you know, you've closed all that out and you're so deeply into the whole gangster thug hustle mentality and all that it represents in the mind of your peers, and especially with the women having a desire to have you a part of their circle, you know, special friends and all that, it's easy for you to dismiss everything else. I understand that. What I'm telling you is to think bigger, you know, and actually consider your life, consider your future. And I know some people might say, well, the whole reason I'm doing this is because my life is limited. I don't have long. I'm going to have fun while I can. I don't have as many options, you know. It's more options now than there's ever been. There's more programs in existence than there's ever been. I mean, they're just throwing money out there, you know. And so even if you came up in that environment, and that's what you're seeing, and the reason that you was given for people going down that road, or even if you just assumed that was the reason, was because of limited opportunities. While that may have been true for that generation or in that situation, most people nowadays are not in that situation. And it's a lot easier to accept that you're in that situation and then go down these alternate paths because it's quicker and it seems easier. But the reality is that you're fooling yourself if you truly believe that it's the only path that you can travel and that there can't be more waiting for you if you choose to apply yourself in different ways. Because the reality is, I know we like to say that we are a product of our environment. Obviously, there's some truth to that. Still, the reality is that you have choices that you can make, and now you have even more options to base those choices upon. You know, a lot of times people are not going to come to you, so you're going to have to choose to expose yourself to this information. You know, talk to people. Look, you're online now. If you're watching a YouTube video, do a search in Google for your community or your state, your community. Do the search and say organizations for. A lot of you got records already. Sometimes that's why you're hustling, is because you got a record and you can't get a job. Do a search for organizations for felons in blah blah blah, Atlanta. Organizations for newly released felons. You know, a variety of those types of words, and see what comes up. And most of the time, matter of fact, check your Goodwill. They got a lot of programs. Check Workforce. They might have some programs. Yeah. So those are some thoughts and ideas for you. I got to go because I'm probably getting quite repetitive. Yeah. And the battery's dying. Holy moly.